Welcome to the 2025 Northwest Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Final Four Preview Show. My name is Mike Tatko. We're going to have visits with the coaches and players from the participants in this weekend's Final Four. Let's start with the Highline Thunderbirds. Well, we're joined by the Highline Thunderbirds, Coach Che Dawson and Isaiah Vargas. Thanks, guys, for taking a little bit of time here at the NWAC Final Four. And boy, Coach, a number 4 seed faced with number 1 Skagit Valley. Seed-wise, it was an upset. But in watching that game last week, didn't appear to be any fear from your team. You took care of the Cardinals, and then you came back the very next day and really took care of Spokane. I guess at this point, there can't be fear. There has to be confidence. At least that's what it appeared to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest factor, both teams are great teams, very talented, very well coached. And so we knew we were going to have to play our best to perform well. But the biggest factor with this group all year has been their belief in each other. They're incredibly cohesive. They're confident in each other's abilities. They play for each other. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And it's amazing how well you play when those things are the ingredient.
Isaiah, it was almost a clean sweep of the West into the Final Four. 3 of the 4 teams from the West, including yourself, of course. Did playing all those hard teams and good teams in the West prepare you, and is that maybe one of the reasons why you've had success in this tournament?
Yeah, personally, I think the West region is actually like the best region in NWAC, so I think that definitely helped prepare us for the tournament and going against other great teams and just being able to compete out there, even though we're a 4 seed.
Coach, you're going to face the champions of the West again, Lower Columbia. You know them very well, not just this year, but from over the years. I'm sure you've had a lot of great battles with the Red Devils. What has to be different tomorrow than the other 2 meetings?
Well, again, like the first 2 games, very well-coached team, very talented team. I think the biggest thing we have to focus on is they're so good defensively, and you have to figure out a way to be efficient offensively against them. And so that'll be our focus, is figuring out how to get good shots against them. And of course, when you knock them down, that helps.
Isaiah, you told me a little bit ago you're 20 years old. Coach Dawson has been coaching here for 22 years. So much knowledge and wisdom he has had to pass on to you, your teammates, and prior Thunderbirds throughout the years. Talk about some of the things he has really ingrained in you and your teammates to help you have some success.
Yeah, I think one thing he's taught us over the last years is just being a great young man off the court too, and I feel like that helps translate on the court because you're just ready for business and you're just ready to go. It just helps you be successful in everything in life.
Well, Che Dawson and Isaiah Vargas from Highline, thank you so much for spending some time, and best wishes this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, we're joined by the Lower Columbia Red Devils, Coach Mickey Polis and David Young. Thank guys for joining us. And, Coach, I got to start with you. Boy, you come to one of your games in this tournament, you can't even take time to go to the concession stand. I mean, it is so exciting. You feel like you're going to miss something. You guys look so fun and relaxed. Talk about what it's like to coach this group.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of sophomores, and I've got some older gentlemen that are on our team, and so they know how to play at a high level, and so it's been really rewarding this year. Just starting off the season playing really well. We had a little stretch there in the middle of the year where we had to make some changes as a team, and we played really well down the stretch here. But it goes to our players. Our players have really locked in this last weekend. For sure. They knew what the game plan was. We knew what we needed to do in order to win. And a lot of them had played in this environment last year when we made it to the Elite Eight. And so I think they had a little bit of a chip on their shoulders to try and get back to maybe go further this year. So it's been a good group, and we still hopefully have some more business to take care of.
David, boy, watching your club, it's like watching a symphony orchestra. I mean, everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their part. You know where to be at the right time, it appears. It must be fun playing with a bunch of guys who everyone knows what everyone else is going to do. Talk about that.
For sure. I think it starts in practice. We practice really hard. We go over our game plans, and, we trust in our coaches. I feel like we all have the same goal, and the end goal, we all have the same end goal, and we're all fighting for that. And, we have a great relationship off the court, and I feel like that's a huge part of our success because on the court I feel like we bond well. And like I said, it starts in practice, and I feel like we practice hard, and, that's how we are here we are today.
Coach, you know the old adage, we all know it. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. That's what you're tasked with in the Final Four against your Western Region foe, Highline. What has impressed you about the Thunderbirds down the stretch this season?
Yeah, no, I'm just really impressed with how hard they play. Coach Dawson has them locked in right now. They played fantastic this last weekend, both on the offensive end, the defensive end. They've got a bunch of sophomores. I think you win with sophomores. You look at it through the history of the NWAC tournament. You don't usually win with sophomore leadership, and they have that. And those sophomores have stepped up big time for them in these playoff games. And so we're going to have a big challenge for us. I think we're up to the task, but we've got to do the little things. We've got to do the fundamentals correctly in order to get a win.
You know, David, last year the championship game was 2 Western Region teams, Green River and Tacoma, and it went to overtime. This year, 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four are from your Western Region. Is playing those hard teams all year long, has that prepared you and helped you get to the success that you've had?
For sure. You know, it's a competitive league. Every game, you know, only the top 4 teams made it, but at the same time, even the teams that didn't make it still gave us a tough matchup. Every game was a tough game. We have different ways of going about games, and like I said, we have a tough league, and I think the 3 teams being left in the top 4, being from the West region, just shows how tough our league is and how hard it is to make the Final 4 spots to make the playoff.
Well, Coach Mickey Polis and David Young, thanks for joining us today, and best wishes in the NWAC championship rounds.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
We're joined on our NWAC preview show with the South Puget Sound Clippers, Coach Zach Smith and Quincy Linton. Thanks, guys, for joining me this afternoon. Well, we'll start with you, Coach.
Yeah.
Just your 3rd year at the helm of the Clipper ship, and what an accomplishment you have already in the Final Four in just the 3rd year. What does that say about the program you've built, yourself, and the people who you have surrounded yourself with?
Yeah, it says a lot. I think it's a testament to South Puget Sound as a whole. Since I got the job, I've said it a million times, the campus and the community does a great job supporting these guys and supporting us coaches. So I'm happy that we're having the success we're having, because it kind of speaks to everybody back home that's cheering us on. And these guys have incredible support from our community and our campus, and they make our job really easy. So I get to focus every day. I'm there full time, and these guys kind of get the support and the resources they need in order to be successful. And our athletic director, Vernell, couldn't be more grateful for him and what he's done just to make sure that we could be in this position. So yeah, it's cool to win games, but also just the academic side. These guys are incredible student athletes, so it's been fun.
Quincy, going to turn to you. You know, in that first round game last weekend, I'm just going to tell it like it is. Your teammates kind of struggled at some big times, but you didn't. You came through with some huge free throws, some huge play down the stretch for the Clipper club. But then the second day against Portland, everyone seemed to step up at the end and really close out that win against the Panthers. Talk about your team atmosphere and how everyone pulled together at the end to get you to this point.
We got a lot of sophomores, and everybody's more experienced than how we were last year. Last year we lost in the Sweet 16, and now that we have a better team, co-champions of our region, which is, I think, the best region, and that just shows how strong we are, how everybody was bought in throughout the summer, throughout the whole year, and how everybody just was here to win. We had our up and downs. We had tough losses, but we also had a lot of great wins. And Edmonds and Portland are both good teams, and we're just looking forward to making deeper runs and making better plays for each other.
You talked about your tough region, and 3 out of the 4 teams in the Final Four are from that very tough West region. And Coach, back to you, it almost was an all-West Final Four, but then Southwestern Oregon came in, got that big win against Green River. The Lakers play with so much energy. They just bring it every possession, offensively, defensively. What concerns you the most against them?
Yeah, SWAC's a good team. And, you know, the same way we have sophomores, they have sophomores, and their sophomores are big for them. But they're a team that plays together, which is, you know, it's always tough to guard when you got a team of multiple guys that can score. But they have a ton of energy, and they're physical. They're tough. And so we got to play 40 minutes of basketball that's matches that and bring more. So we worked a lot this week on our own pace and our toughness and physicality to get ready for that. But the team that's the most together for 40 minutes is going to come out with a win. And so our guys are bought in. We had a great week of practice. I'm excited to see them compete because, when you get here, our job's kind of done and it's on them. So we have a great team, and we're sophomore-led. These guys have done a great job this week. And I just want to say that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this kid. We took a tough loss the last game of conference. And, in the locker room, I was curious to see if we would still have a heartbeat. And Quincy Linton found the heartbeat for the rest of our group. And so they got together and they talked some things out and came back ready to fight for more. And we wouldn't be sitting here at the Final Four if it wasn't for him. So I'm proud of him and I'm proud of our group and ready to compete tomorrow.
Quincy, there are so many long-tenured coaches in the NWAC throughout all of the regions. Some of these guys have been coaching for more years than you've been alive. Mm-hmm. And yet we're sitting by a man who's only in his third year, the head coach of this program, and he's already brought you and your club to the Final Four. What does that say about Coach Smith?
He's big. Just right behind him is Coach Wade and Coach Ant, and they all play a part in the NWAC, all play a part in our region, and just our coach. They are mentors to me and my team, and they take time out their days after his wife and my other coach's kids and how their outside life, and it just shows a lot and how much they're bought in as much as we're bought in.
Well, Coach Zach Smith and Quincy Linton, thanks so much for joining me this afternoon, and best wishes this weekend.
Thank you very much.
We're joined by Southwestern Oregon Lakers coach Riley Grandinetti and Luke Fotheringham. Guys, thanks for joining us, taking some time today. We'll start with you, Coach. 2 number 4 seeds in this Final Four and some new teams into the Final Four. It just seems like on the men's side of the NWAC, Coach, there's so much parity. Seeds don't matter. Every game here on this court and really all season long seems like it's just anyone's game. Can you talk about the parity in the NWAC?
Yeah, it's a battle every single day. In the South Conference this year, you asked us about a month ago, I think we were, going to be the 1 or 2 seed. And the ball didn't bounce our way a couple times, and we lost a game in overtime, lost on a buzzer beater, lost by 2 on the road. We win those 3 games, we're probably the 1 seed. So, that's how close the NWAC is talent-wise in every team. A lot of good coaches in the NWAC that work really hard in recruiting, and it shows with the teams and the amount of wins. I think we had 4 or 5 teams in the South that won 20 games overall. So. It's anybody's game any other night, and we've been lucky that it's been our night the last couple of weeks.
Luke, boy, I might be biased, but I thought your club came out with so much energy in both games last weekend, and to me, it would be hard to sustain it over a 40-minute game. But no matter who was on the court for Coach Grandinetti, it just seemed like there was so much energy. Is that something you focus on, and can you talk about that?
Yeah, I would say it's just the brotherhood and the culture that we have here at SWAC. I think G he's done such a good job at bringing the guys together, and everyone's happy to see everyone succeed, which is just so awesome. We have our guys on the end of the bench screaming for every loose ball, every bucket. So, I think us just coming together, being a brotherhood, the culture that we have now, it's been amazing.
Coach Grandinetti, this is your alma mater. You played here, assistant coach here, head coach here. You're here on the big stage, Final Four weekend. Is it more special because of the fact that you have such a tie to SWAC?
I think so. I love SWAC. It's been my home the last 12 years. Being from a big town in Salt Lake City, going to SWAC, but played for Coach Hop, the old coach here. Coach Hop did a really good job building the culture that we have still. And, being able to take over for him and continue to do what we've been doing, change some things here and there, but it's nice to see us get the recognition that I think we deserve, and hopefully we can continue to do it.
Luke, to win it all, you really kind of have to run the gambit of Western Region people. Already took care of Green River. South Puget Sound is next, and if you can get past the Clippers, another Western Region team will await you, whether it be Highline or Lower Columbia. What is the key to keeping it one game at a time and really not focusing on their region, but just focusing on your opponent each night out?
Yeah, I think, like you said, just taking it one game at a time. The Western Conference, they're stacked. They've obviously proved that they're a really good conference, and they got 3 of the 4 teams out here. But just taking it one game at a time, not looking too far ahead, just trusting each other, trusting the game plan, trusting the coaches, trusting my teammates.
Well, Coach Riley Grandinetti and Luke Fotheringham, thank you so much for being our guests, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.